Hello everybody and welcome to Uprising. Today I'm about to have dinner, and the reason I'm making this video is due to quite a few people asking me to show them what I eat. A lot of times I explain and it's maybe just easier to show you, and people wanted to see that. So here's what I typically eat for dinner. So I make a bowl. It's really just filled with spinach in here, and then I'll throw like some raw carrots on top of it. And then I always like to have something that's like fermented. This is kimchi today. A lot of times I'll do sauerkraut, stuff like that. You always want to eat your vegetables first. This is actually going to help break down the rest of what comes in later. So and not only that, but if you think about it, I always wait till I'm pretty hungry to have dinner. And I do that because I like the body being in true hunger mode. And I also make sure to drink probably 2 good sized glasses of hydrogen water before any meal, whether it's lunch or breakfast or dinner. And the reason I do that is because your colon and your intestines, in your digestive system, you require a lot of water to digest your food properly. And I don't know if you've ever noticed that sometimes when you're eating, you'll start getting thirsty in the middle of it or afterwards. And it's not good. You get thirsty because your body is telling you we need water to digest this. But you don't really need to be drinking water afterwards, after you eat, because it's actually not good for you at that point. You're going to dilute your stomach acids and it's going to be harder to break down the food. So you have to think ahead and you have to drink the hydrogen water ahead of time, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Make sure that you're well hydrated and then eat your meal, and start with the vegetables first. And if you're hungry, your vegetables are actually going to taste really good. I've noticed this, so I always want to eat those first because I'm going to enjoy them the most. And then while I eat some vegetables, once I'm about halfway full, I'll start eating. Here I got some hummus, and I got a little, it's an organic hummus. I always, try to tell people you really want to try to eat organic as much as you can. Everybody probably knows that, but there's actual studies where they've studied people not eating organic, and they test their urine, and their urine will have all these pesticides in it. It's crazy. Your body's having to filter this out. Then they would switch to organic, and after so much time, a month or so, I can't remember the exact numbers, the levels begin to get quite a bit lower, and very, very low, almost non-existent, depending on the types of foods you're eating and where you're getting them from. But yeah, for the most part, you can avoid a lot of pesticides. That's a really good idea. Here's some of the kimchi that I put in my salad. Again, it's kind of, for me, it's my salad dressing. I don't put salad dressings on there, not stuff with a ton of salt, not stuff with I don't put any oil on it. I really try to stay away from oily food. For me, it makes me break out. I had acne for years and I couldn't figure out how to get rid of it. And it wasn't until I started not only changing the way I ate, but avoiding oily foods. And that made a huge difference. I mean, you're going to have your natural oils in things like, even my hummus has some natural oil in it. Now today I'm kind of going easy. I'm using these. They're these organic quinoa, and they're sprouted quinoa, chia seed, and amaranth chips. Always make sure to check the ingredients on stuff, because I've seen the craziest things on ingredients. Chips, there's sugar in chips. Why would you want sugar in salty chips? It makes no sense to me. But if you look for the right ones, like these ones right here, they have great ingredients. They do have some oil, and I'm aware of it, but it's a very low amount. It really doesn't affect me. It's not too bad. But normally what I prefer to do, and when I have more time, is I'll just have some steamed brown rice or some steamed quinoa, or steamed quinoa and rice mixed together. That's better. It's healthier. This is the easy way today with the whole chips. I have some old guac here that I'm just kind of using up. Probably doesn't look the best on camera, but it tastes great. And that also has some of your natural oils. Interestingly enough, science shows that oil, actually, like fats, help you absorb your nutrients more. So that's why people need to understand that no matter how good you eat, no matter whatever supplements you take, you're not going to get full absorption of your nutrients, especially as you get older. This is super important. And the reason is they're actually coming more and more to understanding that it's due to hydrogen. Your body will produce less and less hydrogen as time goes by and as you get older. And then you're going to have trouble absorbing your nutrients. This is why it's so important to drink your hydrogen water first. If you don't have hydrogen water, drinking water first is great, and it's going to get you hydrated to have better digestion of your food. But if you have hydrogen water, it takes everything to another level, whether it's your diet, whether it's your supplements, whatever it is that you're doing. Now, granted, I'm very well aware that this meal, this right here, and these other things that I have, the guac, the quinoa and amaranth and chia seeds, you know, my chips, and my hummus, which is really a lot like my meat. Beans are, you know, a lot of protein and just more vegetables and fermented foods with the whole kimchi thing, and my raw vegetables. Even all this is, I'm going to be deficient. I'm going to be deficient in something. Some people may think it's because, oh, you're not eating meat. That's not really why. You can eat all the meat you want. You can eat whatever you want, but you're probably going to be deficient. You'd have to have like the perfect diet, and nobody has time for that. Well, maybe there's somebody out there, but it's very rare and unusual. And if you did have that, your body would still need to be at an age where you're getting the proper absorption. So there's a lot of things against us. So what I really try to do is create something simple. Like this meal did not take me a long time to set up. It's simple, and the thing about it is that I use the hydrogen water before to help with absorption, and then I have some type of oils in my, particularly the avocado is kind of my oil. And yeah, there's gonna be a little oil in my chips. It's not the best oil. I don't feel good. I don't feel like perfect when I eat it. I can feel that there's an effect. It's really mild. I'm really sensitive to these things, but the avocado oil feels fine. It doesn't bother me. I don't break out. Nothing happens. Don't feel weird about it. So this is basically my meal. Sometimes I'll also have a little tiny bit of wine. Again, the science also shows it's drinking wine before you eat, actually, just a tiny little bit before you eat. It helps again with the absorption of the food. And I can feel that too. And I feel that it makes a difference when I drink it at the beginning rather than towards the end. And then maybe through the middle, I'll have a few sips. And it's enjoyable. And it's always best to try to get a clean wine. I know there's a lot of sulfites and different things, and it's really hard to find, but I found one wine that they don't have any sulfites that are added, maybe natural sulfites in there, and it's an organic wine, and I try to go that route also. So this is my simple meal. And interestingly enough, you know, of course, most people would get bored of the meals. You know, do I get bored? Not really, not very often. But once in a while, if you get bored of, you know, something like this, you can eventually go and splurge once in a while, maybe a healthy splurge, as I would call it. But again, I hope this answers some of the people's questions about what it is that I eat. You know, again, when I was talking about understanding that everything, that I'm going to be deficient even with everything that I'm eating. This is exactly why, if you want to check out some of my other videos, this is exactly why I show how to make my smoothies. Because my smoothies are really about as complete meal as I can get. So this is not really for just pure nutrition. I mean, this is my meal. It's going to have sustenance. It's great. But for like really, really good all-around nutrition is my smoothies. And so when I make the smoothie, I'll have some, you know, in the morning. That's my breakfast. As time goes by throughout the day and I get a little hungry, I always wait for true hunger. I don't eat out of boredom. I wait for my body to tell me, okay, I'm hungry, I need food. And listen to the body, you know. And so later on in the day, usually for lunchtime, I'll have more of the smoothie because I usually make enough for later on in the day. Then I've had my smoothie basically twice a day. My digestive system didn't have to work so hard throughout the day. A lot of good nutrients in it. I'm very hydrated because I've been drinking hydrogen water in the morning, and I drink it before lunch, and I stay hydrated throughout the day. And then that is my multivitamin basically. I don't like to take just normal multivitamins because they put a strain on your kidneys. There's so many different things in it, and you can't absorb all of it, and your body's going to kick out a lot of it. And it's also not a food-based vitamin. I really like something that's food form vitamin, which is why I use something called Garden of Life Raw Meal. Watch my other video about the smoothies because I show it there. That's what I like to use because it has all sorts of superfoods. It has all sorts of nutrients in as far as your vitamins, your minerals. It's well-rounded. It's basically a multivitamin, but it's also your food. So it's like both in one, and it's in food form. It's all organic. It's all sprouted. Sprouted is so important. For those of you who don't know much about sprouted foods, just go and check the science facts about this. Check the nutritional level before and after you sprout something. It's ridiculous. So as much as I can get sprouted, that's something that I also strive for. So basically my breakfast and my lunch is really my multivitamin. And then at the very end of the day, I'll just eat something like this. And I try to eat not too late also, because that's another good way to lose weight is if you don't eat at night. Eating at night is the biggest problem for gaining weight. This is what sumo wrestlers actually do. People don't know this, but the Japanese understand things so well. And when it comes to diet, they actually know a lot about it. I mean, they got it down to just a science. And they know how to make people gain weight like the sumos. They do it on purpose, and they eat before they go to sleep. This is not something you want to do, and most people do. So again, you got to plan ahead. You got to think ahead. And so what I end up doing is I have a really big meal way before I ever go to bed, because I end up getting hungry by bedtime. So that's why I'm really going to fill up on a big salad, and I'm going to fill up on the hummus and my chips and my kimchi or sauerkraut, whatever I choose to do, my avocado. Once in a while, I'll boil an egg. If I feel like I need extra sustenance, I really don't like to eat the meat, even though there's amazing nutrients in meat, but I won't eat something like meat. If I want to extract the nutrients of something like meat, what I would do is what, again, a lot of the Japanese do, which is they make like a soup. You use the water to draw out the nutrients out of like the bones, like the bone marrow. You just pull all those nutrients. You can put meat in there, everything that pulls it out. I only do this when I really feel my body needs it. But I really don't like to eat meat because it's really hard on the digestive tract. It's just really hard to digest, and it's not really the cleanest thing to put in your body. I mean, think about what happens if you throw a pile of meat out in the street and a pile of fruits and vegetables. I mean, you have maggots growing on the meat, and this is inside of you, and it takes your body so much time to break it down, and it eventually gets in your blood. And I don't like to say have one diet versus another. I don't really like to go into all that. But if I were to try to give advice as far as what you should and shouldn't eat, obviously more towards a vegan diet would be better. You don't want too much dairy. I know that, babies had dairy, and maybe little baby cows and animals, but they only need it when they're babies, because when you get it, it helps you grow big, rapidly, but you don't want it after that. You don't see an adult cow drinking milk. You don't want to be eating dairy when you're older. That puts on the pounds too, and then you get really big. Some people tell me like, oh, you're so lucky that you're naturally thin. It's not true. I could gain weight easily, and I used to be a lot bigger. And maybe someday I'll post some pictures, because it's a little dramatic, but once you change and you eat the proper way, you'll naturally lose weight. So it's not really actually that difficult, but eating at night is part of the problem. So what you want to do is you want to eat earlier in the day. I like to eat 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6, 7 p.m. starts getting a little late, but that would be my cutoff time, so that by 10 p.m., maybe 10:30 p.m., I'm tired and I want to go to sleep. And then you get, nice rest, and you feel full and satisfied because you ate a bigger dinner. So these are my tips. These are the things that I do. I really have done a lot of research and figured it out how to implement all the different things and make it easy. That's a big thing. It's so difficult to cook these fancy meals and all this stuff. And then I also try to tell people, don't get too crazy serious about it, because sometimes it can be really hard on you psychologically. I've actually done that. I have a funny story, and I guess I'll share it with you guys, but I don't normally share this stuff. But I was really strict on my diet for quite some time, and I was all raw food. I was completely vegan, obviously, and eating this way was really, really hard. And eventually what happened was, and I guess I have somebody knocking at my door, so I'm going to end the video here. I'll share the story next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and see you next time.